5th win of the season. I don't know when we got our 5th win last year. You know, I think you know, we've shown growth. Obviously, the first step we're going from, you know, from not good is you know, to getting to the point, you know, in your rebuilding process where you win the games that you're supposed to win. And you know, I think, you know, through 7 games, that's who we've been. You know, disappointed, you know, with the way we're kind of starting first halves, but I feel, you know, pretty good right now about our resolve and fight in second halves, especially defensively. You know, to hold our opponents for 12 to 15 minutes, we're really stymie them and make things hard. So we're happy, real thrilled to have 5 wins at this point in November.
Second half, you were yelling almost before you got a defense rebound, run, run, run. You wanted to be a running team that hasn't happened. Is it just more of a, you know, focus that hasn't been there, or it just hasn't happened?
It's just, I think it's a transition. You know, I think last year, you know, it's with the guys that, you know, obviously a lot of the guys that played for us. Last year, it was like slow down every time. If we ever got a rebound, it was stop. You know, short games. And, you know, obviously, you know, it's a game-to-game proposition for us, but obviously we'd like to play fast. You know, we have so many more weapons on the perimeter, you know, across the board, and I just think we were tentative, you know, and sluggish a little bit, and not in attack mode to start. And I thought that changed at halftime.
And did those screams help, you think? I mean, the tempo definitely picked up.
Yeah, it did. I think it helped. Biggie. Me screaming, you know, doesn't always help. You know, but yeah, I think it does. I just, you know, as a player, I always wanted my coach, you know, to tell me to attack and push, and you know, you hope that, you know, that our guards embrace it. I think they will.
For either coach or Biggie, you guys came to a similar point on Saturday where you guys were able to distance yourself a little bit, but you couldn't deliver that final blow to kind of put him away. You were able to do that tonight. What was the difference?
Biggie or me?
Either one of you guys.
I'll start, and you can say what you think. Yeah, you know, I just thought that we bared down. You know, obviously, you know, Biggie had a great stretch. You know, really efficient. You know, offense. You know, from him, he lives in the lane. He just puts so much pressure on the defense. And, you know, when he's added this improved perimeter shot. You know, and then you know, X minus the, you know, obviously the dunk attempt in the second half, which I'm sure he would like to get back. If he was 0 for 5 at halftime, he was 5 for 10 in the second half. If he just laid the ball in, which, you know, it's good for him to see the ball go in. I thought Gil, you know, in 21 minutes was more, you know, more comfortable. We just had more guys that played better, and you know, and Biggie was a big part of it.
Like Coach said, bear down on defense. Offense going to come if you get stops off defense leading to offense. So we bear it down and wound up coming up with some stops, and that led it to transition, getting layups and running offense and getting good shots.
Biggie, you look a lot more aggressive, especially going in the rim and getting in the lane than you were maybe the first couple of games. How much more comfortable do you feel now compared to those first 2?
Coaches kept talking to me, telling me to play mad. He said I was just ready to run the offense. After a couple of games, he said just play mad and your time will come. And I'm starting to get more comfortable.
Are you playing mad? How would you describe that? Just aggression?
Yeah, very aggressive, attack the lane, look for my players so they get open shots, and if the defense don't step up, take it to the lane and lay it up.
Dan, you full court pressed them the whole game. You didn't really put too many turnovers. Were you just trying to slow them down? Were you trying to run what were you trying to do with the press?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to, you know, base just. I think we had a plan coming in, and I think the plan's changed in terms of how aggressive you can really be. And I think, you know, for us, it's going to be, you know, just try to keep our opponent. You know, if you can, you know, suspend 8 to 10 to 12 seconds before they can get into what they want to do offensively, it shortens the clock. You know, sometimes if it's a team without a lot of guard depth, maybe it has a debilitating effect, you know, on the opponent, just constantly being there. You know, and I'd say that we thought we'd be more of a turnover, trapping team, but I be possible the way these games will be called?
They had 4 assists in the first half, 14 made free throws. Second half, they had no assists. Obviously, they're getting a lot of penetration. Just your thoughts about the defense on the dribble penetration second half.
Yeah, I think we just tried to stay with Rousey the best we could. We did a great job on him until the last probably 3 minutes where we hit a couple shots, but no assists, 6 turnovers. Some things we've got to clean up. I think some guys are getting a little bit away from their identity a little bit, which we've got to clean up a little bit in terms of our personnel. I was happy with with the way we guarded. We forced 15 turnovers. Just by being, I think, a little bit more solid. And we had some breakdowns, especially with younger guys. In the second half, but we got a quick turnaround. We got to get ready to go to work.
Yeah, they went under screens all night. Do you want your guys to be aggressive and shoot those threes when they're going under screens and just give them that opportunity for you to do that?
I just know that X is obviously going through something that whether it's pressing or not. Like, I don't remember one time last year, the whole season, somebody going under the ball screen. And he's going to come around and make shots. He sees obviously a comfortable 3-point shooter. Biggie's been shooting the heck out of it. I think TJ, when he's got his feet set to guy, can make shots. Jarrell's made shots this year. I think we're a better perimeter shooting team than we've shown. I just don't think that we're comfortable. I don't think that we even have guys in roles I think that they're going to be in for the majority of the season yet. I still think we're evolving. I still think that we're waiting for Wednesday, where we have 3 days to prepare for George Mason to really implement the way that we want to move forward. But it's hard to do when we play, I guess, 5 games in like 7 or 8 days, which is what we're on right now.
How are you adjusting to sitting out for free? It seems that you're getting better every game. In a sense that as well.
Sitting out last year was a big part. For the games, we work on my dribbling, shooting. I wasn't a really good shooter at my last school, but just taking that whole year out to work on my jump shot and learn how to dribble and get aggressive on offense, that helped out a lot. I think my dribble more better.
So conversely, we tried to bring these guys. I think with EC and Biggie, these guys have played great for us. I think our plan with them was to bring them along comfortably, let them get reacclimated or get acclimated to college basketball. And obviously, their roles will increase. Biggie Minnis, 5 for 6, 14 points, 18 minutes. That number obviously will lift as we go, that 18-minute thing, or else somebody's going to really start questioning me.
Dan, Gilvitas got his 3rd foul very early in the second half, but you stuck with him. Did you feel like he just needed to play at that point and try to get on track?
He just got to play. Gil just got to shoot. He's got to shoot when he feels like he's got a good shot. He just, he's got to be who he is. I think we showed him some clips today of some Rutgers stuff, some stuff from St. Benedict's where he just played like his hair was on fire. Just talk to him about just being the emotional guy that he is. Get excited, get angry. Don't feel like you got to live up to some type of an expectation. You're a really good player. You're going to have a great 2 years here. Just just knock this rust off and just get back to being who you are in 21 minutes. Obviously 13 points, six rebounds. That's after starting kind of bad the first 2 minutes where he was a little bit out of sorts.
Well, Mike had a good stat. He said 2 personals in the first half in 4 out of your 7 games this year. It's hard to build anything when you constantly pull him out. Right?
Yeah, I think that what's hurt him a little bit too, was he didn't get in foul trouble against Arizona, I don't believe, because they were more conventionally big. That they obviously missing the other big. They played a lot. They played 5 guards. And it's hard for him. He played the 5 at Rutgers. He's playing the 4 here. And just understanding angles, and they're trying to avoid getting in those situations. It's going to take all of us some time. We think we have a chance to be a good team this year. It's just not going to happen as fast as maybe we would all like it to happen. And we just have to try to find a way to gut out and win the games that we can win up until that point where we become good.
Dan, you were talking about pressing and trying to create turnovers. Can you do it under the new rules? Have you figured out a way to do that? Or what is the way to do that?
I don't know. You know, it's just hard, you know. And I thought the officiating was good tonight. I thought it was consistent. I just think that, you know, guys right now, they're trigger shy, you know, a little bit with, you know, with how close they can get. You know, and now you can't really scrape passing lanes, you know, because guys are going to get beat off the dribble. So you got to play a little bit softer, you know. So you can't get deflections, you can't get out of passing lanes because it's really hard to guard the ball. So you have to have maybe a perimeter guys in help position as opposed to in passing lanes, you know. So you know that affects your ability to make those turnovers and go get out and get those easy games.
Dan, you guys are playing short in the front court, but can you speak to the way you guys did, the way you guys rebounded the ball today, specifically team rebounding?
I thought Iffy was good. You know, I thought he was pretty active. You know, he was matched up obviously with the 7-footer. So I thought he did well against pretty good size at 18 minutes. He was productive. You know, I thought a freshman was a little out of sorts today. I thought he shot it well. We just weren't sharp. You know, I think that's what happens with young players when you don't have enough practice time. It just becomes game, shoot around game. You know, you get worse when you can't practice. You know, and I think that those guys need practice. And we obviously need Mike Haven back, and obviously the front line right now is not what we envisioned it to be. But I think we have enough to be a good team with what we got. And I think Mike will be back sooner rather than later.